synthesizers as well, and as a drummer, I do appreciate a cool drum machine programmed beat because I like programming them as well. I think the best programmed drum beats are going to be made by someone who could actually play it if they wanted to. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make it like this way, and it's very chill. Like I was listening to it again when I came home from work, and it's kind of it's not a ballad necessarily, but it's not like in your face. It's in this nice little middle range, and being in C, it's a pleasant key. It makes it moves around in pleasant ways, and it's all just very it's very aesthetically pleasing to me.
It feels like a daydream.
What about you, Michelle? You've been kind of silent over there.
I've been waiting to get a word in edgewise.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's everything that you said. I have in my notes. It's not everything, but just like. Greg, you had mentioned that it was a positive song. I felt like it was really positive and had this nice upbeat feel. And I also, my first note was, I like the video gamey kind of start to it. So it's been funny that we've been talking about old school video games because to me, this had that feeling of that kind of early video game. I liked it. It's an easy song to listen to. It's very positive. I like the vocal quality and the chorus. I feel like it's kind of, it doesn't require a lot to listen to this. You can kind of just go with it without anything being shoved on you. You know what I mean? You can just listen to it, enjoy the tune, enjoy the sounds. And it made me kind of think of Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That's sort of like summer.
Sure.
I mean, not the sound of the song, but the feeling that it evoked in me, I guess. Sort of that easy, summer, positive, fun, anything's possible kind of a feeling. That's what I got from it.
I like that. I think aesthetically or tonally, there is a similarity there. I like that comparison, Michelle. I will say, of the two, I vastly prefer Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Oh my God, yes. 100%.
Well,
I mean,
that's an iconic track, and this is just, on the back half of, his 2013 album.
this would be another song that would be nice to listen to while you're shopping at the mall. Like, oh, it's in the background, and I'm
Human music.
It's not requiring anything of me.
If I could go back to the video game thing that you brought up, are any of you familiar with the genre of chiptune?
Oh, yes. I love chiptune.
No.
Chiptune
basically
is
using
where
hardware. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you take the guts out of like a Game Boy or an NES or an Atari or something, and basically you rig it up. I mean, me and my friend have been talking about like trying to actually do that. A lot of people fake it with synthesizers. I can make any something sound like a Game Boy. But like the authentic chiptune, let's talk about authenticity in chiptune music. Or you'd actually
chiptune music.
Yeah, right. Japan to table, and so you take the guts out of a Game Boy and you basically rig it up to a keyboard controller.
Yes, I actually think I've seen this on YouTube. Don't they have a couple of videos on there, like from a couple of years ago?
Sure.
I bet if you search just Bare Naked Ladies chiptune, you'd find hundreds.
Oh, interesting.
Because They Might Be Giants fans are really into it too. It's another kind of geeky, sub-genre kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also a guy I found a treasure trove of Mario Paint. They Might Be Giants covers. I should see if there's any Bare Naked Ladies for you guys for future episodes.
Did you say it's chiptunes?
Yeah, chiptune. Yeah, like you're taking the microchips out of it.
There is only one that I could find looking at it, and I'll make sure I post it for this week. It's Pinch Me, which is an 8-bit chiptune.
Yeah, so they'll do like, for instance, the NES.
Anyone who's listening needs to go out and actually do chiptunes up, and we'll post it on the show
covers
if we haven't already covered that song.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually. I'm
going to start looking for that every week from here on out.
I once did tweet out a request for a cover of a song that I could not find any covers of, and someone sent me a cover that was pretty well recorded in like the next 5 hours before I recorded the episode.
Wow.
I'm like, hey, who wants to cover this song? And someone actually did it.
That's pretty great. Awesome. I love the internet, man.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's like the old NES had I think it was like two square waveforms, a sawtooth waveform, and a noise channel, and that was all they had really to make all their music. And I really have a huge, deep appreciation for these composers who compose for these early 16 and 8-bit consoles because of the limitations, placed upon them and how they would compose and things like that. Like it's not as simple as just scoring it out. You have to use these like tracker software and everything back in the day. It's become a lot easier now. As Greg said, you can get like these voices on a synth and just kind of replicate it. But yeah, I've actually been to a Chiptunes concert where the guy had like the guts of the systems out and has it hooked up to a MIDI controller, and it was really cool to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the real deal.
Now, you guys are saying chiptune, like, with this song. To me, and it might be related to chiptune, to me, this song reminded me of a ringtone. Like, the whole beginning of this song reminded me of a ringtone.
Oh, yeah.
Early ringtones were very much had that kind of 8-bit, 16-bit sound quality. So
yeah,
for me, it was
your
a
Motorola Razor.
Exactly.
The Nokia. The little Nokia.
Well, I found the Bare Naked Ladies Big Bang theme in 8-bit.
Oh, please send that along.
You already did that episode, I know.
Cool.
Sure.
Here's one
That's
of my
cool.
many problems with this song. The beginning of the song is...
Oh, I love it when you have a problem with a song, Tracy. It just makes me
Tracy's
happy.
drinking the hater
guzzled
Because
the
Tracy is so all
boy.
in.
Wow.
I can't wait. Spill it. Tell me
The
everything.
whole beginning of the song... So, first of all, I didn't like I like some ringtones. I didn't like this ringtone sound at the beginning of the song.
Yeah, you probably find chiptunes pretty
Then you might not like chiptune then.
Wow.
No, I like the old Mario Brothers and all and Zelda and all that. I love those old things. There was something about this I just didn't like, and it went on for 40 seconds, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's drilling into me. And then it just kept going on in the background throughout the whole rest of the song, and it's drilling through my brain. I even tried to go back and listen to, like, cut out the first 40 seconds and start the song from there, from when the lyrics start up, and I still didn't like it because all I could hear was that theme going over and over and over again throughout the whole song.
How interesting.
So then on the other end of it, so they got this really long intro, and then they have this really, really long outro as well. It's 1 minute and 40 seconds long on the outro after the last word has been finished. And I have to say, like, they repeat the word daydreaming, I think it was like 10 times to finish. After that last one, it goes another minute and 40 seconds of them just doing instrumental. And I'm like, that, for a 5 minute and 30 second song, that is much too long for me.
That's hilarious. You don't usually react this way to the BNL
It's
song.
very
so
rare.
I mean,
Unless it's a Kevin song.
it's very rare. Although I will say, to me, this really didn't sound like a BNL song. It didn't sound like, this is not why I go to listen to Bare Naked Ladies at all. But I mean, I liked the song. And I actually had a note that I liked the outro. But again, it was because it was easy and it didn't require anything. I didn't have to do anything. I could just let it happen.
It sounded like a like you had mentioned, a song that you would hear an instrumental to in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a pretty cool mall if they're playing stuff that's got chiptune elements in it. They're playing it at...
when I was down in
GameStop.
Jamaica for work, I was at a Chinese-owned supermarket, and I heard this romantic saxophone playing, and I stopped pushing my car, and I looked up, and I was like, wait, is that the Blade Runner soundtrack? And it was. It was the romance theme from Blade Runner playing in a Jamaican Chinese-owned supermarket. It was one of the weirdest, most surreal experiences of my life.
You're talking
It
the
was
original,
really cool.
Original Blade Runner?
But it was super weird.
Wow.
I kept expecting to
a
look up
lot.
and seeing Sean Young somewhere or something, you know? I'm so, what?
Well, right.
So, okay, as far as I'm concerned, guys, I've mentioned how simple the song is. There's nothing wrong with simplicity. Some of my favorite songs are very simple. A lot of like Beatles stuff, very simple.
Yes.
There's beauty in simplicity.
Yes.
But having said that, I just can't help but feel like this song is a little half-baked.
Yes.
Even the ending is really abrupt, and I'm sure that was intentional, but I'm not sure why, other than, hey, let's do something other than ending on resolving to the tonic. I think maybe if it's trying to evoke a daydream, you might be like thinking, well, if you're daydreaming, suddenly someone might say your name and you're snapped out of it. So maybe that's thematically, that's what they were going for. But to me, it's just more... I feel like this needed a little more time in the oven.
Yeah.
It's something else that I've...
Like, they had this really cool tinkling of the keys and Ed, like, picking on the guitar in the outro. If they had done that throughout the whole song, that might have made it more interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think Kevin's key work is probably the best part. It's the standout of this track. And you have that instrumental section where he's really going at it. And it's like, that was really cool. I like that. And the funny thing is, though, while this song is quite different from some of the others that we've heard off of Grinning Streak, I have to say that there's something tonally, or I have no idea if it's the way they EQ'd it or compressed it or something, but Grinning Streak, everything that I've heard off it thus far, has this feel to me that's so much more homogenous than any of the other albums that we've sampled. So anything like Gordon or Stunt or maybe You Should Drive, they're so... the dynamic range and the stylistic influences, it's so much more diverse on those albums. And we've only probably covered 4 or 5 songs off Grinning Streak so far, maybe not even. But it seems like every time I run into this album, I'm like, it's more the same, you know? And it's like, I don't know, just something feels the same about it, and I can't quite...
It's factory pressed.
So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know, are they trying to...
sell a few albums.
They've been a band for a long time at this point. So, are they trying to tap into a different kind of audience? I mean, you don't want to... That's the hard thing. You don't want to alienate, you guys, longtime fans by putting out something, that, you think sounds too homogenous or something like that, or too slick. I mean, not that they haven't had big budget records before this, but I'm just looking at the AllMusic review right now, and it says... Grinning Streak finds the band sticking with the polished, mature sound that they delved into on 2010's All in Good Time. And they gave it 3.5 stars as an album.
I wouldn't say it's their polished, mature sound. I would say Stunt
is
a polished, mature sound.
Fair-ish. I don't think it's a bad album. But to your point, I'm not a long-term fan. Before Tracy pulled me into this project, I knew maybe a handful... I could probably count on one hand, or definitely 2, the songs that I knew by BNL. So I'm coming at this as a relative newbie, just knowing most of the radio hits or whatnot. And that's just an observation that I made. This album seems to be kind of homogenous. And, again, one thing I want to say, as a musician, and I want to stress this, writing music, and especially finishing songs, is very, very difficult. It might seem easy to someone who's never done it. But let me tell you, and I know firsthand how difficult it is to pull something up from the depths of your subconscious and work and work and work and work and work on it. And then finally at some point make the assessment, okay, this is done. This is finished. Because it never feels finished. It doesn't to me, certainly. I never am like, okay, that I don't need to do... There's maybe one song I've ever written in my 15 years of writing music or so. Probably more now. Oh, wow. I'm getting old. Like 20 years of writing music. I've probably only finished. I probably started about 300 songs, and I probably only finished 50 or 60.
I mean, you haven't even finished a movie yet.
Of those songs, there's maybe 1 or 2 that I felt like, okay, that's definitely finished. I never really felt that with the others. It was always like, I guess I got to stop trying to tweak this because I got to move on to something else. So I guess this is good enough, and that's always how it felt for me, at least. So I understand this is a huge. It's a job of work as much as it is anything else, and I know how much effort must have gone into that. So to the BNL guys, if you're listening, we know you're listening. Of course, please come on the show.
They're listening.
No, but please
Ed
don't.
listens faithfully
please don't
every
take this
week.
personally, of course, I love so much of your music, but it just this album, what I've heard from it thus far, is just not really doing it for me overall. And this is another example. This is not a bad song. I would say it's above average in the pantheon of like what a song could be.
Yeah.
But again, I have to compare it to